Well, now I gotta find stuff. I had a rough day out here and I left a bunch of stuff out here, like my tripod and a bunch of chains. But my mission today is to pull some of these trees. I got one big one up there. I see this tree came down right about where my tripod was. So I'm afeared that, my fear is, yep, there it is, son of a gun. Tripod's buried. Well, here we are again, pulling logs. Wintertime. I got a few here. And I just, every time I get into this phase of the operations, it comes to mind how so much is emotional energy and angst is put on whether or not a saw has a half a second more cookie cut time than another saw, doesn't have the right kind of muffler, this, that, and the other thing. And I can't say that enough. On the grand scheme of things, the felling is a dangerous part, and it's fun. But actually extracting the wood, getting it up on the landing, getting it bucked and sold is just as important. I mean, obviously you have to have it on the ground, but you got to be able to get it out of the freaking woods. Now I got myself a mess here. You know, I took these down in, I don't know, I might show some of the video, but it was a bit of a disaster. I had this one hang, and it was my fault basically. I was rushing and I didn't really do my normal checks on the hinge, and it was about 5 degrees off and hung to that tree right there. And I tried pulling it with the tractor and all that, just didn't work. I ended up breaking up things, broke up the door on the tractor, smashed the window, stuff like that. I don't want to get into the details, but it was ugly. But it's what happens when you lose sight of this stuff. I mean, this is risky, dangerous work, and with big heavy pieces of equipment and big heavy trees. And yeah, the saw is a very important part of it, but most of the saw focused guys on YouTube right now, there's not a lot of them that come out and do this. There's some that do, but there's a lot that don't, and it skews the priority. You fight with this stuff for a while, and over the years the things that become important change. And I've said it over and over again, and I get a lot of backlash online from the pure saw guys, you know, that don't have a complete operation. And oh, you don't know this, or haven't done that, or should do this, or could have done that, all this crap. And the bottom line to all of it for me is there's really 2 or 3 parts of the saw thing for me. There's this, which pays for it all, getting the wood out. And my priority set here is, I'm already uncomfortable enough because I'm an old man. It's already risky enough, so I have to take my time. It's just got to work. It's got to work in a predictable way every time. It's got to start. It's got to be able to have enough power. All the things that we've talked about for the last couple of years. That's so much more important right now than that extra half a second in a cookie. That doesn't even freaking matter if I can't get it to start easy, or stalls, or some other characteristic which makes me have to work around the saw. Too big a hole in the muffler, all this stuff that people do. But when you get it out here, all of a sudden what's important is completely different. So that's one side. The other side is the hobby side, and I like that. That's fun for me. You know, I make my hot rod saws. They make noise, and you run them for an hour or two. That's good. And it's fun. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying it's any worse or any better, but my whole priority has been altered by this stuff. You know, so I gotta be in the right frame of mind to be receptive to, oh, you should do a muffler mod. Why? It's doing what it has to do quietly, reliably every time. So why should I mod the muffler hack it up, you know. So as we start this operation, let me see if I can set the camera on that box. I lost my tripod underneath that tree. It's buried, along with a couple of choker chains too. I'm gonna have to clean that up in the springtime. But I want you to think about it. Where in this is big long bar, big buck and spike, all the saw thad type things play to the positive? How much does it matter? I want you to think about that. Oh yeah, one more little detail. I've bought into the concept of saw pans on days like this instead of chaps. Chaps just get in the way, and I need to be able to, at my advanced age, get up over things, and I got to be able to move. I had ran this saw completely out of gas on that ugly day where I was dropping these trees. Well, that's a good sign. Just idling, I can look how big that thing is. Oh boy. See if I can find my choker. There's another choker down in here somewhere. Well, now we're in a pickle.